today is one that pierces.
We're gonna have a productive but also very cozy few days here in Paris in the fall season. I'm living in my sweaters. Said it before and I'll say it again. Always get yourself the flowers. There's no reason to wait around for someone else to get them for you because look at how beautiful these are. Just a little pop of color and life brings me so much joy each morning. The gorgeous, just like you. If there's one thing I've learned since living in France this year, it's that you can't walk around and have leisure wear outside. I mean, you can, but you're gonna get death stares by the French. Like any normal gal, I'm like, I wanna fit in. I wanna seem Parisian, even if I'm not. So every time I go to the gym, is I honestly wear like a casual fit, but I wear a fit to the gym and I just change there. So just throwing my jeans on over my workout shorts. I like this culture of showing up nicely and being put together to some extent. At the same time, I think Parisian fashion is quite simple. It's kind of casual while elevated. It's not doing a lot. Like a lot of times it's just nice denim, a little turtleneck, and a good coat. Like it's easy, but people look good. They look like they tried. And I'm all about that. As long as it doesn't require too much effort, why not? So let's pack our duffel bag for the gym. And I need to tell you about the Your duffel bag by Sangbon. I am obsessed with this bag. I got it like 2 months ago and I use it so much. I obviously use it for traveling, but it's like the perfect size bag to just fit everything I need. All right, hello. I need to get a little closer so I can show you guys the texture of the bag. For one, it has exquisite craftsmanship. Like it's just so well made and I love all the little details. And it has this vegetable tanned leather with this like just really cool vintage kind of look to it. It's treated with these special techniques that gives the leather this very cool like natural and kind of like worn effect to kind of like replicate the traces of time despite being a new bag. And the hardware is all stainless steel, so it's super comfortable for walking around in the city, for like bringing everything around for the day. But it's also like the perfect size for the airport as well, because I can still like kind of stick it under my airplane seat. So let's pack her up and let's head to the gym. Recently switched from Hoka to On to try out their workout sneakers. So far, I'm a fan. And let's go get a good workout in. Fall day. I guess someone who like seeks out a lot of like big adventure in life. At the end of the day, the amount of joy reading in the sun brings me almost unbeatable. When we think we should be seeking out so much more, I'm like, this is where it's at. The most ideal day spent on my own. I got 3 new books. I sat in the park for like 2 hours. Chef's kiss. Greetings. I have a dirty little secret. Something I've been enjoying recently. I don't know how I became a Coke Zero girl after not drinking soda for like 7 years, but this instead of coffee midday, it's different. I was thinking about this a lot in the park and I feel like I might relate to some of you guys of this concept of maintenance versus growth, because I feel like throughout your 20s there's this push to need to grow, advance in your career, leveling up to that next best version of yourself. And when you do reach a place where you're like, you know what, this is pretty good, I'm comfortable, you can feel quite guilty about it, or I can feel quite guilty about it. For so many years, it was like constantly needing to one-up myself, trying to be more successful, and kind of just constantly looking to what's next. I haven't really heard of this in a lot of like US culture, that is, of finding a level of just contentment for a while and not constantly striving for more success and money and higher goals. I think when a lot of people hear like, oh, I want to be comfortable, you equate that to being maybe apathetic or stagnant. I personally, and I think this could maybe be of help to some of you, am kind of redefining that, where I'm like, oh, comfortability is actually a good thing. It is a human nature to want to seek out a comfortable space that you can really maintain a healthy routine. When I say maintaining, I still think there are things that are super important, like, you know, working to be a healthy version of yourself. I think it's important to always be learning and opening your mind to the world around you. But I think that in terms of outward success, I don't think it's sustainable to just keep seeking year after year a higher level and a higher level. Wanting to be secure and in a place where you're like, this is good, this is nice, I can do this for a while, is a superhuman feeling that I didn't let myself feel for a long time. I think there's seasons and chapters of life for both, and I think you need to kind of find your balance within that. I also think if you have legitimate feelings of wanting to change, if you want your life to look different, then you do have to obviously push yourself into a zone of discomfort to create that change. But if you're feeling like you need to get to some next level just because society's telling you, I feel like it's worth questioning. Because at the end of the day, it's your life and no one has lived your life before, so you get to decide. This year there's been a lot of learning and unlearning of just some messages I wish I had heard even a few years prior. And so I feel like as these things come up, I want to keep like sprinkling them into vlogs. And I know there's a lot of you out there that are probably going through that quarter life crisis, as I've liked to call it in the past. But I wish I could go back to myself a year, 2, 3, 4 ago and be like, it's gonna be okay. That was a long rant. We're gonna have a cozy day inside for the rest of the day because even though the sun is out, it is chilly and I love my little homebody evenings, so. So I truthfully have been very inconsistent with trying to learn French this year because the summer was crazy and I really have time, but once fall hits, I get back in that back to school kind of mindset. So I'm working with a tutor. I'm just so bad at it and I'm so freaking slow. And it's like embarrassing at this point. I swear I was a very good student back in the day. That's probably the reason why this is like low-key a little triggering. And I'm like, academics was like the thing I was good at. Why are languages so difficult for me? And maybe this shows the reality because I feel like there's all these videos out there of like, I learned French in like a month. And I'm like, not I. Let's chat with my gal Valerie. Bonjour, ça va?
Désolée.
Non, non, pas de soucis.
Vous êtes toujours à Paris?
Ah oui, je suis en Paris.
En Paris?
À Paris?
À Paris,
À Paris.
d'accord. Et vous êtes dans quel arrondissement?
Story. I don't think I've shared it yet in a vlog, but I get so anxious sometimes when I sit on my balcony. Okay, so the backstory is I went on a Hinge date. Got drinks with this man. It was fine. It was nice, but I was like, you know, this isn't it, as it goes with dating. It's a lovely gentleman, just not for me. As the date ends, we're like, okay, we'll part ways, and we're, you know, walking together, and we're both like, you're this way still? And I was like, you're this way still? And he's like, yeah, I like live, you know, in this area. And I was like, oh my gosh, I live in this area also. He's like, oh my God, you live on this street. Like I have this view basically facing opposite of me. And I was like, oh yeah, I love this street. I love my view. I'm always on my balcony. And he's like, wait a second. He's like, if you're facing that way and you're always on your balcony, I'm facing, and I'm always on my balcony facing the other way. He's like, are you the girl who's always reading on her balcony? And I was like, what do you mean the girl? And apparently him and his roommate have seen me just like reading on my balcony and like wondered who I am, and then we randomly matched on Hinge and went on a date. Now sometimes when I go outside, I see him on the balcony. We don't make direct eye contact, but if I see him out there, I'm like, I have to go back inside. It could have been the perfect love story. It could have been iconic, but alas. Anyways. If you're anything like me and you're more of a a summer girl than a winter gal. We have to put some practices in place to beat seasonal depression. One of my favorites is hinge. I can never pronounce this right. It's a quality of coziness that creates a feeling of contentment or well-being. Hence, all my mood lighting right now. When the weather starts to get colder, you spend so much more time at home. You have to take the time to make your home into a cozy place that you're actually excited to be in. I actually really adore this time of year for the forced slowness. There really is kind of this like retreating into the simplest pleasures of life, just like a warm meal, a good book. You have to romanticize the colder months, especially when you live alone and you're single. We're setting up a very cozy and loving environment for ourselves. Good morning. I don't think I make enough use out of the fact that I'm living in one of the countries with the best pastries in the world. So I stopped and I had to get a pain au chocolat. Look at this, look at her. That's so satisfying. I went on such a little lovely run this morning with Veja. It was good getting the body going because I'm training for a race that's on Sunday. Oh goodness. And saw their new collection. We're heading to Sandra presentation. I'm a huge fan, so I'm like so excited to go. Trying to survive the rain.
From you, my thief. It's getting later and it's harder to leave. I'm trying to heal. I'm trying.
Good morning. It's race day, baby. Quite tired. You know what? I've made peace that I'm gonna embrace this as a fun race. If I'm slow, that's okay. We're just getting to the finish line. We're just doing this thing. We're moving our body. I'm proud of myself for signing up for something that's outside my comfort zone. And it's gonna be a really beautiful run. I'm excited that I get to run throughout Paris and into Versailles. Like, that's iconic. Like, when else in my life am I gonna get to do that beautiful of a run? So on that note, let's go run, baby. On y va! I'm cozy, I'm clean, and I had so much fun in that race. I did the Brooklyn half last year and that was my first long race literally ever, and I honestly didn't have a great time at it. Like, didn't pace myself well. I felt like absolute death by the end. This race, I had such a good vibe. I slept well, I paced myself pretty well. I started off with like no music and then a podcast and then like a fun indie running playlist and then like an upbeat like techno Afro house playlist so I could like slowly build my energy. And I went way faster than I did my half, and this obviously was shorter. This was like 16 kilometers, which is like a little over 10 miles. And like, what an iconic route while living in Paris to run from the Eiffel Tower to Versailles. That's so cool. What a special race to be a part of. It's so funny. I told my family I did it and my brother immediately sent me this photo. He's like, you know, that's the route of the French Revolution, right? When all the angry like Parisian moms took their pitchforks and ran to Versailles to like take down the king and queen for their gluttony and their mistreatment and mismanagement of the French people. The route I took. In theory. Anyways, I had a great run. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and see you guys in the next one.